Right, so we've got Matlab running, and the first thing we do is we go into add-ons here, manage add-ons. Right, I've loaded in the Simulink support package for mini drones. Let's assume we did that. And just around here, but I can't, just off my thing, there's a little wheel here. So you click on the wheel and up pops this window. Now you connect up the drone, a USB cable, and work through this process now. So next, it now detects the mini drone, and you can choose which one you want, but it picks up the Mambo. Go into next, then starts to download the firmware, and the Parrot itself now, it's got some flashing lights on it, so it's flashing different colors. This can take a few minutes, longer than you think. Right, so what we've got to do now is when we get to this stage, we've got to actually disconnect the Mambo drone, and then the software will start. So now I've disconnected. It's now gone to flashing green lights instead of constant green lights, and now gone into orange from one side to the other, on and off. It's now flashing green lights, some orange. I'm waiting now for the LEDs to stay green and start blinking, but I'm still waiting. Right, so now the Parrot Drone's disconnected and its lights are blinking green. So I can now go on to the next. So I've now got to connect up the Bluetooth. So to do that, I've got to close this. I want to go now onto the File Explorer. So click on File Explorer and go to this PC, and the Bluetooth comes up. Click on Bluetooth, or even double click on Bluetooth. Now I'm just going to show you how to do this. So go to Add Device and click on All. Now the Mambo I've got today is not the one, a different Mambo one. So this is 199, the one I'm going to get is a different one. So click on All, and it'll now look. This is 79004. Now you're looking for this one. So it can come up with that type of picture, or this joystick. Now when you've got the joystick, you know you've sorted out, so click on that one and click on Next, and it comes up with a little tick there, and this tells you that you've got the Bluetooth connected to the, there's got to be this symbol, not the other one. Click on Finish. Now I've got this one now, we can remove because we're not using it. Now next thing we do, go down to here now and do a left, do a right click, no, go back to here then, your mouse on there, do a left click, open service, left click open service, then go down to this one and do a right click It's now come up with personal area network. Didn't need a right click. Then do another left click on this and connect. And it says connection established. So this is what you're looking for now, to connect the personal area networking between the Mambo, and that was done in Bluetooth. So that's the tricky part. If you've got that one going, you're well on your way. You can then close that down. You now click on next here. It says that you see this connect. So that's what we've achieved to do. Then click on yes, and yes again, and then it tells you what that's the number now for the drone, the IP address. You can do test connection. It sends some sort of, so it's now connected. So now you know now that your drone is connected. Don't need that. So that was our first stage. That was connecting the Bluetooth to the Mambo Parrot. Next thing we're going to do now, I've got some code here as well, just somewhere of interest. This code here, which you can have a copy of, this one takes the data from the Mambo and plots it on the screen. So the data that you've seen before. So it does some graphs. So this is a handy program to have for plotting out once the thing works. It's called Mambo Data Plotting 2020, and you can have a copy of that one when you're ready. Next thing, I go into Simulink now. So double click on Simulink. Just going to take a few seconds. And we're looking for programs in now. I've got Parrot Mini Drone Hover. This is the one I'm going to try. So double click now on Parrot Mini Drone Hover, and off it goes. This is sort of loading in all the programs. This one is only doing a 1.1 meter vertical takeoff and hold. Doesn't do anything else. Comes up with a load of stuff. You have to be patient here now. We don't need this particular window. It's still initializing really. Here it comes. And then still not finished. So then it pops this now is the simulation tab you've seen before. Now go on to flight control system and do a left click, and then use open as top model. This is a tricky part now. So the left click and then open as top model, and something new happens. Here we go. And now you can't stick what's in T final here. Can only store about 24 seconds worth of data. So if you have too longer in there, it doesn't like it. It's T final set at 100. So I'd set this at 10 for the moment. Change that later on. Make it 20, shall we? 20. So you're limited in what you can do. Then, as you go along here now, go on to, you need to maximize this to see it properly. Here we go. So then you got 20 in there. Go on to build, deploy and start. So click on that. And then build, deploy, start. At this stage now I'm going to move my drone onto the floor because it's on the table at the moment and I don't want it bashing into my face. I've got a bit of a carpet that's got a weird pattern on it, not a continuous pattern but a weird pattern. It quite likes that because it's got this visual data set here which it uses. So if it's got a clean, completely like a green carpet or something where there's nothing on it for it to sort of differentiate, it doesn't like it. If you have a carpet with the same pattern, it doesn't like it either. So you can put like little pieces of stuff on the floor, just throw some random stuff on the floor for it to use this vision system as part of its stabilization in hover. It's quite handy, makes it work a bit better. Fortunately my floor's all cluttered, so it doesn't matter. It takes a bit this now. My i7 is zooming along. In a moment we get this window coming up. So this is the flight control window now, and we move the pointer here all the way along to 100%, and we keep our fingers crossed now and we click on start. So here we go, it says preparing for takeoff. Now I'm not sure if my drone was fully charged, so it might not take off at this stage because I was a bit quick off the mark. Yep, it's set down flying, and I don't know if you can hear it, just hovering at 1 meter, and that's coming down and it's landed. So it's done the full flight and there's flight completed. God, that was good. Now if we click on Matlab file, if we're lucky it will download the data from the flight into a Matlab file. So click on Matlab file, and this is where it says file not found. So this is the problem I've got now. This part is not working. It should say file found. In my other drone it does work, but in this one it doesn't, and I'm not sure why. So that's my next point to figure out today. Okay, so here's the fix. Hopefully it will work. Go into hardware settings and it'll come up in a second. And then go into hardware implementation. So you get different ones. Click on hardware implementation, and there's 3 little dots here. See advanced settings, doesn't even show it. Advanced parameters. Go down here and then use Simulink code feature. This will be switched off in yours, so switch it on, apply, and OK. Then we're going to try and run this now, but before we do that I'm going to try and go back into this. So it's a bit tricky this for me, my computer's not very user friendly. Just go back into PC, my Bluetooth devices, and open services and connect. So it's not gotten, you have to do this every time it switches. When it crashes or goes wrong, you have to redo this. It's not too bad once you got the hang of it. Then you go back to here and you can go into deploy and build. I'm just going to move. It's quite nicely placed. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take a picture of it as well. So got 100% power here. I'm going to get 100% power set up there. then click on Start. Preparing for takeoff. I'm going to try and picture this now. That was the flight. So I just recorded the flight there. You can probably hear it and all that. It said error detected in all. This doesn't like it sometimes. It doesn't always work. It didn't work this time. It's landed more or less where it started. It's quite a good place. Sometimes it doesn't work, so let's start it again. I have to get my phone out again now. Just get my video camera on. It's a bit of a faff, this, isn't it? It does go though. Right, the video camera's on. Start. Here we go. That's unlucky. Low battery, so I'll have to recharge the battery now. The battery hasn't got much life in it. It's unlucky on this one. Right, so I've got the batteries sorted out now. We'll go for another flight. Here we go. And I just thought you'd like to see, because you like a Man United supporter, I just thought you'd like to see a bit of Man United as well. So this is Man United, and this is some Everton player scoring against Man United. Look at that, eh? Fantastic. Just like to see a bit of Man United as well. So this is Man United, and this is some Everton player scoring against Man United. Look at that, eh? Fantastic. Then what we can do next is to click. I've still got the football on, and I'll just get it, turn it off. I'll just switch the telly off. We don't want Everton scoring too many goals. Yeah. Right, so let's download the Matlab file. So then we go into Matlab command line here. Now in here there'll be a little file called RS data. So double click on that now. Double click on that, and it says load rsdata.mat down here, which just indicates that you've loaded in the file. And then we can run this program now. So we go to editor, got this program which I've run that, and we can now watch the flight. And here's a particular flight, so it's come up to about 1 meter. The flight duration is 15 seconds, and then here this is it landing. This is the X. It's done quite a bit of departure on the X, not very stable there. This is the Y. And then this is the yaw here. But that gives you an idea then of how we could possibly change that the proportional gain, put it a bit higher to get a bit of overshoot and undershoot in this. That could be another thing to do. But that gives you an idea now how to run the overall system.